That's where we're going.
Back in your lives, in your ears, and in your face. Welcome to another episode of Papa G's House. We're back in 2020. It's been
Yay!
a while. It has been a while. Sorry to those who had to wait. Thank you to all the loyal subscribers. Before, a little housekeeping. Hit that subscriber button. Hit the bell for notifications. But we have two very special guests all the way from Johannesburg. Two of a six-piece progressive melodic metal band, Hiraeth.
Yo,
Hey,
you are saying
you
it
said,
right.
You said it right. That's amazing.
Listen, I saw Rick when he did that. It's like, Hiraeth?
Yeah.
Hiraeth.
We've been wanting to make a video about the pronunciation for so long because when we came up with the name, it looked sick on paper.
Yeah.
And it was only once we branded ourselves with that name that we realized none of us have ever said it out loud. So we had to Google it, and we had to speak to my friend who's an English language teacher to tell us how we would say it.
Yeah.
You know, so
Because it's a Welsh word.
Okay.
So the pronunciation correctly would be Hiraeth. And we
Hiraeth.
were like, we don't
Yeah.
want that.
Okay,
So
yeah. Yeah, and then it was because you're an English South African, Hiraeth would be the way you say it.
Okay,
And I
sweet.
was like, thank you, man, because it's given us such a hard time.
Yeah, I
but-
think we'll go a little bit deeper. But to introduce, we've got Gareth
Hey, what's up?
and Marty.
hey.
The front pairing.
Yeah.
One thing we got to celebrate. Well, there's a first on Papa G's house here today.
Huh?
There's a first, and I don't know why it's such a big deal, but a lot of people have brought it out. I said to my mates, I said, I've got Hiraeth coming. I got Marty and I got Gareth coming for a session, and they said, you know what, that's going to be your first female on the podcast.
Hey.
So welcome.
Thank
Nice.
you.
So
much for joining
thank
me,
you,
guys.
Thank you.
I've really been excited for this one. In fact, ever since you guys have stepped foot in the music scene, my good buddy Mike Pocock has always
Oh,
said,
Yes.
yeah.
dude,
Oh,
check
what a legend.
Hiraeth out. They are absolutely brilliant. They're legends. And no doubt, I was very upset that I got to miss, that I missed the Metal for Africa performance.
Oh, yeah.
It was a huge bummer. I mean, look, it was some medical issues. My face was sitting out
Oh,
like
no.
this. I had a terrible dental abscess. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but
That's
I
not
looked like
fun.
a chipmunk. But how was it?
Oh, it was amazing. It was mind blowing. I mean, everyone was super friendly, super supportive. I mean, it felt like home from home.
Yeah, and the crowd was supporting all the bands from beginning to end.
From the
It was
beginning,
full,
yeah, it
full,
was-
full,
yeah.
full crowds. That was really nice to
That's
see.
Yeah.
To be honest, as someone who's been to a lot of Metal for Africas, that's something that always happens, which is
Yeah.
brilliant.
yeah.
Twice a year they come out. The band started about 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Earlier,
And they're
I
there.
think, right?
Is it
5.
earlier?
No, it was
yeah.
5.
So some from. I mean, they're there at the stalls from early on in the day, and then
Mm.
as soon as the first band hits, you hear the first snare or anything. Everybody just
Yeah.
Yeah.
makes their way
Yeah.
into the check with the chessboard.
Mm.
Yeah.
You know, they've
yeah.
got the check at the
Yeah, that's
dance
right.
floor. So let's go first into Hiraeth, the origin of the name. You said it's a Welsh name.
Mm-hmm.
What was obviously a lot of people, Rick, get it wrong. Only joking. I love you, buddy. But so what is the origin of the name? It is peculiar. I've obviously never heard it before. What goes into it?
Well, it's one of those cases where, you're sitting there trying to come up with a band name, and everyone's going through their Oxford Dictionary,
yeah.
and looking for
Sure.
words that are cool. And we stumbled across the name, but more so the meaning behind it.
Okay.
So in Welsh, it means homesickness for a place that no longer exists or a place that was never real. So if you felt yourself like, oh, I could really live in a forest, that feeling is Hiraeth.
Okay. Brilliant.
Or if you've moved from a town and it's changed so much, it's not the same place, but you miss it for what it was, that is also Hiraeth.
Jeez, that's pretty deep, man.
Yeah, it's a little
That's
bit deep.
awesome,
It's a little
dude.
bit deep. I need armbands. But when we came up with the name, I think all the band members latched onto it because some had been out of music for a while. And they felt like coming back to music.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was that feeling for
Yes.
them? And we sprinkled all over Gauteng, which is not that big, but it feels
It's big, bro.
yeah.
Compared to this place, it's massive.
Yeah, it's like down the road, it's an hour's drive.
Yeah, I had a mate move down, and he came and actually stayed with me for a bit, and he was like, And he's like, oh, I want to go to the beach. And I'm like, dude, it's so far. And he's like, what? It's like 15 minutes away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
In Joburg, everything's like 40 minutes is close.
yeah, yeah.
No, that's
Literally,
crazy,
we
man.
drive an hour everywhere,
Yeah.
and we're so used to it. It's
Yeah,
like,
for
it's
sure.
second nature.
It's also, I always find when I'm driving, that's when you come up with a lot of your creative ideas and whatnot. So
Yeah, true.
So
true,
it's
true.
me time, and you get to do
Yeah.
basically market research by listening to all your favorite bands and all that
Yeah,
kind of stuff.
yeah.
It's how you handle it, I suppose.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know. But yeah, I hear the traffic there. Well, I mean, I've been there plenty of times, but the traffic is hectic over there.
It's rough.
Oh yeah, it'll teach you patience. That's for sure. Because yeah, it's bad.
So Tommy, you guys have been around for about 2 years, hey? About 2
I
years.
think
I
so,
think your
about
first
there.
playthrough is called "We Need a Singer."
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think it's been about
yeah,
that long,
the-
yeah.
And
Well, from since 2017, so this
yeah.
is the beginning of our third year.
okay,
Yeah.
cool,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
And big well done on the Lucid video.
Thank
That
you.
was-
thank you.
Thank
It's
you.
Seriously cool. And I see even Jade made an appearance there.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
From
Yeah.
your other band,
Yes.
Riddle Break.
Yeah.
As we know, Gareth is a part of Human Nebula, Riddle Break, as well as Hiraeth. How do you get it all done, bro?
Band slut.
Yeah.
Very, very difficultly.
Nice.
Yeah. It takes a lot.
I'm like his
lot of
admin
times.
lady. I know more about his gigs than he does. I'm like, Gareth, this band has a gig there. This band has a gig at that day. Don't mix it up.
It's a true story. I'll
Sure,
be
you're a
like,
busy guy. Eh?
is Human Nebula playing this weekend? And she'll be like, let me just check. yeah. You know. So like, thank
Awesome,
you.
man.
Yeah.
And so let's talk about the rest of the band members. Who are they?
All right. So we've got
And remember the names of Johnny in drums, and then there's
Yes, Johan.
yeah, Johan,
A little Afrikaans boy.
Warren, I think as well.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, Warren. Yeah.
My memory, eh?
Yeah, no, it's on point,
Very
man.
good memory.
Yeah, Johan, he used to play for a band called Thunder Marva
Oh yeah, jeez.
back in the day. Yeah, they used to pump. And is he the most recent? Second
Yes,
most.
yes,
He's the most recent.
yes.
Right. And then we've got Tommy. Fun fact about Tommy, I'm not really sure how to say his name because since I've met him, it's been Tom or
Toms.
Tom or Thomas or Tommy. And he spells it kind of cool. So, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, Tommy.
And what is he? What is he on guitar?
He's on bass.
Okay. Oh, he's got that Iceman bass, that big
Yeah,
white.
yeah. That's right. Yeah, and he's a bit of a wizard. He kind of materializes when you least expect it.
Okay.
You know, like when we arrived in Cape Town, he was already there, sleeping in the airport. You know,
He didn't even
Dude,
tell us. We're like,
like,
Tommy.
yeah,
I'm
because we
here,
all had
guys.
like separate seats and stuff. So you know, I didn't know that he wasn't there until we landed. Yeah, and then we've got Luke Kaiser. His music background, he used to play for a prog rock band called Blaming the Architects.
Okay.
And yeah, they had some amazing tunes. Like one of my favorite prog rock bands back in the day, for sure.
Awesome.
And Warren, he played for a thrash metal band called I Saw Red
Okay.
with Luke as well. Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
So they all came from a musical background, and Luke and I studied together. So he was a couple of years above me, and just through over the years, being at the same shows
Yeah,
together,
sure.
chatting, you know, and then having similar interests, and then Hiraeth kind of slowly started piecing
Like all the
itself together.
all the pieces came together. Eh?
Yeah.
And Marty, where did you come in?
So Gareth and I met at a music college in 2017.
Okay.
And it was about that time that they needed a female vocalist for this project that they were doing. And Gareth heard some of my singing and he was like, yo, would you be interested in auditioning for a metal band? Now, I've always wanted, like, you know, in the back of my mind, I was like, how sick would it be to be in a metal band? But I always thought, like, yo, I'm going to be in an indie band or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what, Marty, this is such a cool opportunity. Just fucking do it. I did not know what I was doing. They gave me 2 songs. They were like, here's the song, write melody and lyrics, and in 2 days you can audition. I was
Okay.
like, what the hell?
Baptism.
Yeah,
of fire.
that was kind of mean of us. For
Yeah,
sure,
so I
'cause-
wrote 2 songs, the lyrics and melody for it, and pitched up at one practice. And they were like, cool, we're going to go into it. And we just jammed together, and it was incredible.
And voila, here we are.
Yeah.
yeah,
Brilliant.
Yeah, auditions stopped pretty much there and then. Once
Okay.
once we heard Marty, we're like, okay, she's the one.
Awesome, man. And
one.
judging by all your social media posts and stuff, it looks like you all like really get along super well. And
Yeah.
are just
Yeah.
like
They're
a
like
tight
my
unit,
big
eh?
brothers. I'm the baby in the band, and they're all my big bros.
Brilliant, man. That's
Yeah.
awesome, man. So now tell me, how did who now when you guys obviously came about, you all the pieces came together. You guys hit the scene like with a big stick, eh? You all of a sudden were playing lots of shows. I think you played a couple of. Didn't you play like one of the Brochella shows last year?
Yes.
For
Um,
the Narrow.
Yes, yes. And so I suppose obviously you've been around and all that kind of stuff, so you know the connections. How quick was the process between getting your material ready and then playing your live shows?
Oh, so initially, Hiraeth started out as a instrumental post rock project.
Okay.
You know, so we had been messing around with some of the tunes a year or two. Or
Instrumental though.
yeah.
Okay, so where do you come along with the vocals?
Well, I was actually jamming bass.
Okay.
Yeah, when we started putting Hiraeth together. So some of the riffs we had been messing around with for like 2 or 3 years
Okay.
already.
Okay.
So I guess we already were preparing for a long time, and then because of each of the members' background in music, I think by the time we got the last member involved, given all the things that each member had learned over the
Yeah.
years, we just kind of we got into the scene at a very good place, and I don't want to put it badly, but I think we skipped some hurdles
Sure.
that we've when someone says like paying your dues.
Yeah, sure,
Every
sure.
band has to pay their
Mhm.
dues. I think we were fortunate enough to skip some of that because of where every member had
Yeah,
come
I mean,
from.
you guys have all come from established bands in the
Mm.
past and all that kind of jazz. So I
Mm.
mean, it's only natural that would happen.
Mm.
It's like a little, like a super group kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, I must say, Johan though, like we got him about 2 months before our first show,
No, it wasn't it. It was like
but he had a month to learn all the songs.
yeah, it was very very quick for our first show, and we had
Yeah.
to write
And he
songs.
just ironed them out.
Yeah.
He was just
Brilliant,
ready in a
man.
month, and I was like, oh my word, like
It's
What
all
are
coming
you?
together. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
brilliant, man. When everything comes together, there's no better feeling. I mean, I know that feeling as well. I mean, we're
Yeah.
currently writing and all that kind of stuff, but when you finish something
Yeah,
and it's complete, you're like, oh, it's
Yeah.
just such a. It's not only it's like a weight lifted off your shoulders, but it's such
Yeah.
a brilliant feeling.
yeah. It's like,
So yeah, it's incredible, man. I mean, there's so many things I want to ask you. You got your Undying video that was a kind of like your first
yeah,
video
yeah,
you
that was
released
a
was
live,
like a live
like a
performance
live
video.
performance video. Yeah.
Also very well done. Then you got the Lucid video that was only dropped about 2 months ago.
Yes.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
really cool. It takes you on a little journey. I don't know so much about those hands strangling you around.
Jade.
Yeah.
Jade really liked it.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
likes kinky weird things.
Yeah, I think he did it.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
And that was all thanks to Russell Wells from Riffs and Chugs.
Okay.
He shot the video, he directed us, and he gave us such a great price and a great product at the end. So, Russell,
got
if you're
the-
watching, thank you, man.
Yeah,
Really.
fun
Shout out.
fact, we got the video literally we shot the Friday and the Saturday, and the Monday Russell was like, "Yo, here's the first version. Tell me what you think."
Yeah.
We're
and I
like,
think
"Damn,
by
made a few small
Wednesday it was done.
changes." Yeah, it was
No,
done.
it was really cool. It really does take you on a journey. Like the whole you're in the forest and you got all this black stuff coming out your mouth, and then all of a sudden you're in the band set up together, ripping
Yeah.
it up. Like it was brilliant.
Yeah,
I
it
really,
came together
really
so
enjoyed
well.
it. So in terms of music, what's on the horizon for you guys? I mean, you've just released the video. What have you guys currently got out there? Have you guys got an EP and all that kind of stuff? I didn't really get to the Bandcamp and Spotify kind of
Yeah,
side
so
of things.
we've only got 2 singles out right
Okay.
now, but our EP is coming out soon.
Okay.
Very soon.
We don't know when, but it'll
Definitely be this
most
year.
Okay.
likely be on June or just
Okay.
after June.
Cool. So you've got
somewhere there.
a rough timeline. of
Yeah,
when
we've got
it's
a
gonna come.
rough timeline, and then we're getting in studio and recording as often as we can. So, we want to come out with the EP and also have some tracks on backlog already done,
Sweet.
so that we can do an album soon
Yeah,
after.
and we also have another music video planned for this year.
Yes,
I mean,
yes, yes, yes.
That's something that I find fascinating, especially about the guys up in Joburg and all that kind of stuff. Is that you guys are so quick to pounce on opportunities. That like we are going to package the single as a video and all that kind of stuff. Where just for instance, my bands have like we never have really got around to doing the video thing.
Mm.
It's so weird how it's because obviously it's becomes at quite a price and all that kind of jazz.
Mm.
And look into it, boys. Let's do it because
Do
it's
it.
about time we did something like that. I always feel almost like a little bit of a jealousy, like they've got a fucking video, man. I really want to do a music video, and you've done
Yeah.
a few of them, man. But like with your other bands and all that. kind
Yeah,
of stuff.
but only now, you know, the first 8 or 9 years of jamming, it same as most,
just
like
music and playing live.
just
I
music
mean,
and playing live, not even recording,
yeah,
just jamming. So I think it's definitely a movement that seems to be happening now.
Yeah, I think it's imperative with the way things are going. Anyway,
Yeah,
I mean, you
yeah.
kind of you need a visual aspect to the music these
Yeah,
days.
it's so important to do visuals, especially because of the online era that we're in.
Yeah, 100%.
You have to rely on those things.
Yeah,
to
click subscribe.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah,
Follow
it's
the link
crazy,
below.
man. How just everything's just
Yeah.
gone like YouTube, social media,
Mm.
good and bad.
True.
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, it seems like Joburg's just on fire with all the bands that are coming out at the moment and all the the stalwart bands that have been around a long
Yeah.
time. There's literally a show or sometimes two every flipping
Oh yeah,
weekend.
yeah. Like every weekend there's a show
Yeah.
somewhere.
And you got new rumors popping up left, right, and center. I mean,
Yeah.
we played
Yeah.
where I met you briefly was at the Attila show.
Yes, yes, yes.
And I think how many shows were played at that venue before they moved it?
Wasn't
Sure, they already
There were
knocked out
two.
There was the
a-
Hill Fox one.
Yeah, the big
Yeah, the
warehouse
big
one.
one.
Mm,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
they knocked out a few shows in the short time they were
Okay.
there. Yeah.
Jeez, that's crazy. And then now they've
That's
moved
crazy.
to
Westgate?
Westgate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And have you played that venue?
Haven't. We will be playing that venue on the 29th of February
Oh,
for
yeah.
MLS Arts Expo. Be there.
Oh shit, Emilith, eh?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
on the 29th of February.
29th, yeah.
Yeah.
Shit,
Yeah.
I've always wanted to go to one of those, man.
Oh, you have to. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
It's amazing. They
Sashkira is a beast in organizing.
She really is. And one of my favorite aspects about that show is how they promote art, like
Yes, yeah.
painting and
Stalls.
creative crafts and stuff like that. And, marrying that with alternative music, it just goes so well together. It's like like your dream come true flea market, You're like
Jeez.
looking at the sickest behemoth shirt and then your favorite band's on stage, so it's great. It's great.
Yeah, Mikey P, I'm gonna contact you. Come sit on your sleep on your couch.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've ever since I saw that the Emilith Art Expo existed and that the fact that they have bands. Our good friends, old Mezzanine Floor, went a couple of years ago. But yeah, I'd really dig to go and check that out. So you playing there? Isn't it like a 3-day scenario, or was it one day?
This one
Or
is
2
one
days, I
day.
mean.
Initially, it was going to be a day festival. It was going to be at Sundowners, but obviously Sundowners is now sold.
Boo!
Yeah.
So sad to hear. So sad to hear. I was lucky enough to perform at Sundowners once.
Such
and
a sick venue.
it's rad, eh?
Yeah,
It's
it
so
was-
cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, that's very sad, but onwards and upwards to
Yeah.
everybody involved there,
Mm.
Is it? But obviously, do you know if there's any sort of developments with that property going forward, of whether
I
it's going to be
I
another
don't know
live
how
venue?
true it is. I've heard rumors that it's not going to be as alternative.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't know how factual my facts are, but
Yeah.
Spencer did mention that he is going to try and continue with regular shows
Okay,
at the venue,
alright.
even though he's not the owner anymore.
Okay. No,
Yeah.
that's cool. Yeah, because I mean, it
Hopefully.
really is a special venue. I mean,
yeah.
the first thing that popped up in my head was like, oh, isn't that the venue for Cranked Up?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's a bummer, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. But shit, man. So 2 years you've been going at it and having a blast. Clearly.
Oh,
I mean,
it's been so
Yeah,
much
yeah.
fun.
I must say that your guys' social media presence is also pretty awesome. You guys are always so cheerful and bubbly.
Thank you.
and I-
Thank you
and I
very
dig it.
much.
Yeah, it's almighty.
I'm here all day.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I mean,
she is so good
if it's
at
something that you're proud of, you want to do stuff like that. I mean,
Yeah.
I saw your video the other day when you were at Dark Side Tattoo Collective. You're like, hey, what's up, guys?
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I just think it's important that you stay relevant, even though you're not that relevant.
Yeah,
You know, like
yeah.
you might not have a gig for a few months, but you still stay active and make yourself relevant, even if you're just going for a tattoo or just going for beers with a band or just having a band practice to just constantly keep posting and,
Yeah.
and not fade into the background.
Well, I kind of apply the same philosophy as is that you play exactly the same show to 5 people as you do to 5,000.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you always got to keep the energy. You always got to, you know, it's not like if you got 10 people who follow you, you still need to feed those 10 people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
know what I
yeah.
mean?
They
So-
are
Yeah,
interested.
true.
You
If
gotta
it's
apply
10
that
or
same
10
kind of
million.
philosophy.
Yeah.
Which
True.
I'm not the greatest at. And as you know, that I'm not the greatest at communicating either. Holy shit.
No
I
one
think it's
is
a
as
Gareth
bad.
thing. I think
Yeah,
it's
it
a
is
It
Gareth
must
thing.
be a
definitely a
Gareth
Gareth
thing
thing.
because
Yeah.
no one is as bad as communicating as Gareth.
Yeah, this is true. This is
That's
true.
also a muso thing as well. Like
Yeah.
we're all a bit strange. But yeah, thank you for for being so accommodating there. I thought I'd.
She's had
confirmed.
lots of practice. Yeah.
But anyway, let's take a quick break and then we will come back.
Awesome.
Cool.
All right, we're back with Hiraeth after a short break. Thanks so much for joining me, guys. It's been awesome having you guys so far, and lots more to talk about.
Oh, thanks for having us, man.
Yeah, man. Also, like I said earlier, we're back. It's mid-February, if you can believe that. I haven't done a podcast this year yet. I was like, 2020 is going to be such a killer year. It's going to be rad, but it's been a flippin'
Yeah.
baptism of-
Procrastination.
Yeah.
It's been a baptism of fire, but we're back and we're not going anywhere. In saying that, there's another little announcement I got to make is that obviously, you know, these all happen when I have bands that are available to chat, right?
Right.
So in keeping with the content generation, I'm going to now be doing solo podcasts where I'm going to do deep dives on bands.
Oh,
And
awesome.
I'm gonna break it down. We're gonna I'm not gonna review bands. That's not. I'm gonna just do deep dives,
That's
go
very
into
cool.
do some reactions and that kind of stuff. So look out for some new Papa G's content. I'm gonna be sitting at my studio desk and doing some solo pods. It's hell of a daunting. I've done screen test after screen test after screen test, but I've yet to press that record button.
Ah.
So yeah, so in between, you know, the waits between interviews with bands, you'll see some solo Papa G stuff and the usual stuff with Granny J. But back to Hiraeth. Back to Hiraeth. So you've got the EP that's imminent, coming June, July. You know, second, third quarter of the year. You've got your Emilith Arts show coming up this month, the 29th. Leap year day, whatever they call it.
Yeah. What? Yeah,
Actually,
it was
yeah.
leap year.
Yeah.
It's been messing with me
Yeah.
the whole time.
All the
Like,
ladies proposing to their boyfriends because it's a leap year. And yeah, so you've got those things lined up. What's in store for the rest of the year with you guys?
I think for the rest of the year, I mean, obviously right now our main focus is
The EP.
recording. It's the EP. And once that is out, we are going to push it as hard as we can. And if it's received well enough, we would like to do a national tour
Sweet.
and get it out there, and maybe pick up bands from every town that we're in to join us
I'm interested.
on
I'm
the tour.
listening.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking.
Yeah, so but yeah, it's very dependent on how well it does
Yeah.
and how hard we work at getting it out there. But that's definitely on the cards.
Well,
definitely
listen,
on
if
the
those
cards.
two singles are anything to go by, it's a guarantee that it's going to be good because they're brilliant. They're really
Oh,
good.
thank you.
It's Undying and Lucid are the
Lucid,
two.
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
brilliant. I really
Yes.
enjoyed. The one thing I actually noticed, sorry, my mind works at a million miles an hour, is that I noticed something that your two guitarists, one plays a 7-string or 8-string, or kind of,
Yes.
and then the other's a 6-string.
Yes,
How does that work?
you'll have to ask them. I have no idea.
Because you're a
I have no
guitarist.
idea. Yeah,
I've
yeah.
seen you
but-
play with Riddle Break.
Yeah, I have no idea how they work it out.
Okay.
No idea. I think Luke plays in Drop A.
Yes, yeah.
Don't
it
ask
sounds
me.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
Drop
yeah.
A, yeah.
Yeah, and Warren's in Standard, I think.
Jeez.
So yeah, I think it
Yeah,
works.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, next time you guys in Cape Town, get those guys to stick around because I'm
Definitely.
hella interested.
Yeah,
Yeah, but that's awesome. I mean, that's just a little thing that I picked up in the video.
yeah,
Yeah, because he's got a Gibson SG, and then the other one is I think it's an Ibanez or something to that effect. I'm not sure.
yeah. I think it's an Ibanez RG or is it an Iron Label.
Yeah, something. It
I
might
don't
be the
know,
Jackson or
something.
something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, that's gear
Sorry, Luke.
gear talk. I just found it fascinating. You know,
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
8 or 7 and 6 string.
I have asked Warren on occasion, like, how does he feel about getting a 7 string? And I think he would like to eventually, but right now it's working for him.
Yeah, for sure.
The tone he gets for the solos and the melodies is really nice with the setup he's got
Yes,
right
absolutely.
now. Yeah.
One thing I do want to mention about those songs is that you really do know how to write melodies. Hey guys, like there's some great melodies in there, and vocally as well.
Thank
Really,
you.
really good. Yeah. Also another thing. I mean, tell me if I'm way off base, Marty. Is I picked up. Is Jonathan Davis Korn kind of like one of your favorite like vocalists?
I know what you're gonna say, and it's funny because when we recorded Lucid, Clint, who did the recordings, he was saying the same thing. There's this
Is
thing.
it Jonathan Davis-esque typeness to the melody?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, and even the way that I did I think it was like, I can't remember which part in the song, but the way my vocals did the vibrato.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah, I
like, "Holy
remember.
shit, that sounds like Korn," and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Okay." When I was like 14, I used to listen to Korn all the time. I
Yeah.
loved them. Not so much today. I don't. Well, I still love them, but don't listen to them as
Yeah, I
much.
mean, I'm
but
not referring to the tone. I'm referring to like the camber and the way the. So okay, so I do have
Yes, yes.
an idea.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. It sounds great.
Thank you.
Sounds fantastic. So videos and stuff. Obviously, that's gonna come with the EP and all that kind of jazz. as
Yes,
well,
yeah. We're working on another video concept right now.
Mhm.
We're just ironing out all the timestamps.
it's gonna be sick.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Awesome.
amazing.
All I
It's gonna
can
be
say, it's
amazing,
gonna be so sick.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. I like to see that you guys are so excited. But so now, in terms of the writing of the material,
hmm
how does that stem? How does your process work?
So, Luke, the guitarist, he comes up with the main concept. I guess he's the lead
Yes.
writer. I don't know all the terminologies, but he'll come to the table with a riff or two or an entire song, and then the rest of the band kind of jumps in and they add their own flavors. And usually when the song is really, really fresh and guys are still working out, when you're like playing the same riff over and over, Marty and I will sit there with paper and we'll start writing the lyrics there and then. So it is very much a group effort, but Luke, I guess he is the conceptualizer.
Yeah, sure.
He
That's a
brings
good
the
way to put it,
concept and then we pull it apart and add things to it. And, he gives us such a great guideline or a foundation to work off of. It actually comes pretty naturally.
Yeah.
It really does. Like, I think I was saying to Marty a couple weeks back, I find it really easy to write for Hiraeth.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't ask for anything better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I mean, obviously you're a guitarist as well. So how did you come? First of all, how did you realize you had such a beastly voice? Because you got quite a high register when you speak, and then you go like it's insane.
Yeah, thanks, man. It's indigestion. Riddle Break has had a few member changes through the years, and funny enough, I did more backing vocals in Riddle Break in the beginning before it became what it is today. So I kind of felt like, I could do it, but I was too shy. I was too shy to actually put down the guitar and step up. But after joining Hiraeth and starting on bass, and the members were kind of egging me to like, just try it, dude, just try it. And they really got me out of my shell, and I really think it's thanks to them that I discovered that I can pass for vocals.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, like I said, I'm very sad I missed your performance at M4A. Shout out to Patrick Davidson.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, it
Oh,
was
yeah,
All the hard
what a
work
amazing.
he
beast.
does.
It was
I mean, listen,
amazing.
year
Yeah.
after year after year, twice a year, he pulls, and the Medal for Africa team. I mean, let's
Yeah.
not forget them as
Yeah.
well. But yeah, big congrats to those guys. They're doing a great job. Also follow Sound Vibes on the Blended Podcast with those dudes. And Mr. NATE, who stepped down on his MC duties to perform with Raksha and let our boy
Yeah.
Rick, because Rick's in Atlantic South
Yes.
as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
And Rick did such a good job.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
Such
was
a good
incredible.
He's so energetic.
Mm,
And,
He is,
he's
and like
absolutely love
charismatic.
it.
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect MC material.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So yeah, well done to you as Rick, as well, Rick, not as Rick.
Yeah.
So that's how the writing process. So you've got your how did you put it?
Yeah.
Conceptualizer.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. I hope that's a word.
Yeah, and then
no,
individual
I'll,
input.
I'll accept it. I'll accept it. And then, sure, I'm just trying to think. You guys have been very busy up till now, and busy. So now after the 29th of February, are there any shows booked thereafter?
There are shows creeping in every other day, so we're still.
I just need to figure out, is it Human Nebula, Riddle Break, or Hiraeth?
So no, but are you like running? Are you like managing this guy over here?
Yeah, pretty much.
Because otherwise double bookings are going to happen and we
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
have that.
Yeah,
It does
for
happen
sure.
from time to time.
We've got a cool Rocking for Stockings show coming up on the 2nd of May as well. And I think the show is to promote females in bands, which is very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got that one. And I really can't think of anything right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, speaking of women in metal, that's something that you completely used to,
Yeah,
because also Riddle Break have two, but your
Mhm.
bass player and your
Our
violin
violin, yeah.
player. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to all the women in metal, man.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. There was actually recently a woman in metal show here in Cape Town. I think it was about 2-3 weeks ago,
Oh, cool.
which apparently went off without a hitch.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. I love
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And guys and like Sash and all of the company are all pushing that. I think it's very important to make the circle bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
absolutely.
just sprinkle a little
Absolutely.
femininity.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what kind of advice? Because obviously you've been in bands before. Now you're in 3. Don't know how you do it. It's crazy. But let me actually just concentrate on that for a second. Because for me, I struggle when obviously I started Atlantic South, and then Ill System were looking for a guitar player. When I first started, I was like, oh, all my creativity, like you don't know how to share it. It's like, this riff's cool, but then who am I going to give it to? What band? Like, and then you're stuck between a rock and a hard place, and you don't want to decide.
Yeah.
Has that ever happened to you?
It has happened a few times where I'll write a song or two, and sure, I don't know. I show them to everyone, and I guess because the band will kind of take it, and they'll think about it, and then they'll say to me like, yeah, we could really take this one way, or they'll say like, maybe can do some work, or maybe not right now.
Yeah.
But all the bands know each other as well, as friends. So there's never really been that much of a conflict of interest when it comes to writing.
Yeah.
Also, I think the
know?
3 bands are quite different
Yeah.
from one
Sure.
another.
Yeah, they're diverse enough where, if it's a really pretty melodic song or whatever, I know like, okay, I'm going to show this to Hiraeth,
Yeah. Yeah.
and see what they think. If it's more on the core side, I'll take it to Riddle
Yeah,
Break.
yeah.
If it's,
Disgusting.
Come on,
Yeah.
man.
Human
There was a
Nebula.
breakdown at
Yeah.
the end of Lucid.
yeah,
There's a
yeah,
breakdown
yeah,
at the
there's
end
a
of
little
Lucid.
breakdown
We
there.
are trying to go a teensy bit heavier with
Mm.
Hiraeth. So more breakdowns and stuff like you see in Lucid.
Yeah, yeah. All right. I love it. So keep doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool, eh? And now, just focusing on Johannesburg as a whole, like I said, you guys are all on fire. Your venues are heaving. Your bands are heaving. I mean, we have in Cape Town we have so many bands coming down from Joburg, for their tours, and I think A Truth in Its Burden been here like 4 or 5 times or something to that effect.
Damn.
Back in the day when All Fall will, I know they're from Bloom, but I consider it kind of the same.
Yeah.
You guys are 3.5 hours apart. still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Constant touring down to Cape Town, where there are some bands that are often up there, but
Yeah.
it's not everyone. I think
No.
everybody needs to make a little bit more of a concerted effort to go visit the other cities.
I think
Yeah,
so. I think
definitely.
if we could sort out some kind of exchange program,
100%.
we help a band from Cape Town get up, and they help guys from Durban get down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so, because I saw so many bands at the at Summerfest, and I was like, "Holy God,
Yeah.
this shit is amazing!" But
Bands who you knew of but never had the opportunity to
Yeah.
see, and now we
Yeah.
got to
Yeah.
see them, and I was mind blown.
Yeah.
Yeah, and social media is great for discovering, how many bands are in your country, but sometimes the image and the marketing is just not enough,
Yeah, yeah.
or that one recording is just not enough to get them,
Yeah.
to
100%.
feel the energy and the heat they give off stage, and it's like a live performance for me can make a band for me.
100%.
You
Yeah.
know, when you see them, and I absolutely love Behest.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Wow,
Oh, yeah.
wow, and Hollow, my
Yeah.
God,
Awesome, dude.
they just crushed it, and I feel almost betrayed in a way, because I've never seen them
Oh wow.
live.
Okay. Yeah.
And I would really like to see more bands come up to Joburg.
Yeah. Yeah. I Behest actually. Behest or Behest. Yeah. It's Nick Rickson, the guys. He actually was on the mic for us when we first got started, just for a bit, and then he went on to do Behest, and he's done great things. I mean, I saw them once at Mercury, and they've got some killer.
Yeah, he's got
Killer
energy.
riffs and
He's
stuff,
got
eh?
mad energy. He just gives and gives and gives.
Did you ever
yeah.
know of the band Valkyrie Fighter?
I've heard that name brought up this week, but
That's
I can't
Nick's
remember.
old band.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, geez, those guys have been, and Toyland, another one that I think they supported Soulfly when they came down.
Wow.
Yeah, dude, those guys have been around for a long time,
Yeah.
and they're doing extremely well. Like I said, I'm just so gutted. You're talking about all these bands at M4A, and I wasn't able to be there. It was so sad.
Yeah, and oh man, we want to see them get out more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I mean, look, in Cape Town, it's a little bit of a different story, because we're a bit, it's an easy excuse to say we're a bit like short changed for venues at the moment.
Mhm.
If you look at realistically, I mean, there's only like been one venue that's closed, or one or two.
Right.
There's still venues. I just think we lack the same camaraderie that Joburg seems to have. I don't know. It's just a perception that I've picked up, that you guys, everybody in Joburg, all bands, they love each other. There's no infighting between any sort of bands and all that kind of stuff. No one crucifying each other on social media and all that
Yeah.
kind of jazz. Just seems to be more of a tight knit situation. But I mean, I must admit, when I came to Joburg for that Attila show, you people are the friendliest people in the world, dude. It's
That's how I
We
feel
were
about
saying
Cape
that-
Town.
we were saying that about Cape
I was
Town,
like,
man.
damn,
Yeah.
these people are friendly.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good to know.
Absolutely.
That's
Yeah.
good to know. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
brilliant.
like we did not feel out of place for a single second at Summerfest. It was just amazing. Everyone was so cool. If people fell in the mosh pit, they were being helped back up.
Yeah.
It was absolutely amazing.
I feel like it's with metal. It's like that. Like when I came into the scene, metalheads are scary. If you don't know them, they look scary, and then you get to know them,
Like just
and
big teddy bears.
big
Yeah.
teddy bears.
Yeah, yeah.
I've never felt unsafe at a show. No weird guys. They're all just these little nerdy teddy bears, and they just want, they're getting out, and
yeah.
it's so cool. And I keep telling my dad, because when I just started, he was like, no, you can't go out alone. You can't go to a metal show,
Yeah.
whatever. And I'm like,
Probably one
Dad,
of the safest places to be at.
it
a metal
is
show.
the safest place you
Yeah.
can have me.
No, for
Yeah.
sure. For
Yeah.
sure. So let's focus on you for a second. Is this your first metal project? Because you mentioned
Yeah.
that kind of earlier.
Yeah.
So tell me
Yeah.
how, I mean, let's go into a little bit more detail. I mean, you said it was kind of like a baptism of fire when they said, go, there's 2 songs and you auditioning here. So how was that whole process for you?
It was cool. So at the time I was studying music, so I had the means to do it and the knowledge to do that. It was still scary being thrown into this, and especially not being in metal before. But I guess because I'm a clean vocalist, I didn't have to worry too much about screams and
Yeah.
stuff like that. I could
Sure.
just do me,
Yeah.
just write beautiful melodies, and I felt so comfortable and in place. It wasn't difficult.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And so, what kind of music were you? Obviously, you're in the metal genre now, and you're loving it, and it's loving you. But what kind of music were you into before you delve into the metal side of things?
I've always been into metal.
Okay.
I just didn't know that I would be in a metal band. But the music that was predominant was mostly indie. I really loved, like, for example, Angus and Julia Stone.
Okay.
That was my vibe. Hippie, indie girl.
Didn't they come down and play?
They did, and
They
we
did.
fucking watched them
Oh,
live,
brilliant.
and it
Yeah, we
was
go
so
check them
sick.
out.
Sweet.
I was so sunburnt and drunk.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
Well, that's the way you want to spend at a concert, man.
Yeah.
Not so much the sunburn part, but yeah, because that makes you more drunk.
Yeah.
So now tell me, what was the reason for the extra week-long stay in Cape Town? It's just too beautiful, you can't leave, or you got some things to
yes.
to
It
sort
is
out?
beautiful here. It is beautiful here. No, I just wanted to spend some time with a good friend of mine.
Okay,
Yeah, he's putting us up for the week,
Okay,
and
brilliant.
he's showing us a bit around town.
okay.
Because
Yeah,
we thought, the tickets they're so expensive,
Mhm.
and we can fortunately take the time,
Yeah,
So we're like, stuff it. Let's stay a while.
yeah.
Let's try and catch up with some people while we're here.
Wicked. Okay, so
Yeah.
have you? So what is your? Have you always been from Johannesburg?
No, I actually grew up in Zimbabwe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, yeah.
Mushy.
Yeah. mushy. Yeah, and the friend I'm staying with, he's also from Zim.
Okay,
Yeah, we went to
wicked.
high school together and all that stuff.
Okay, nice, man.
Yeah,
What
so
school you at? St. John's.
how did you know?
I got my
Damn it.
Zimbabweans, bro.
Damn it. Damn
And
it.
his mom was a teacher there.
Oh
Yeah,
wow, hectic.
yep,
eh?
yeah.
Shout out to
that's it.
Tani.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're St. John's boy. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
And then, so when did you come down to South Africa?
So I met a very good friend of mine now to this day. I met a guy called Alex when I was like fresh out of high school. We tried doing like the punk band thing. We were all crap at it. And then I went over to the UK for 2 years, came back, was working a really shitty job in Zim. And we kind of met up again. And he was like, dude, come with me to SA, man. There's metal there,
Yeah.
And I was like, no, there isn't. There isn't anywhere. And I think a lot of people,
Oh,
when
yeah.
they come into the scene for the first time,
Present.
yeah,
Didn't know.
didn't know.
Same.
No clue.
I have
Didn't
no
know
idea.
there was like anything at all,
Yeah.
So, yeah, so I followed him, and we studied music together, and then we started going out to tempos,
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
and then Gordon,
Your drummer and
yeah.
Metal Break, yeah.
he pushed
You
me into
say,
my
how's this memory
yeah.
bank of mine, bro?
It's insane,
insane.
man. It's
very
blowing my mind.
impressive.
Yeah, it's really good, dude. Yeah, he pushed me into my first mosh pit, which was facing the gallows.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, never looked back. I was like, holy shit, this is real. It's a
Yeah,
thing here,
yeah.
and I want to be a part of it because I feel so welcome here.
100%.
Yeah.
Man, that's awesome. Geez, so you Harare boy.
Yep.
Okay,
yep.
cool. And yourself?
I've always been from Pretoria.
Okay, cool. Okay, so and you also said that you guys are all scattered all over Joburg.
Yeah.
So you're in Pretoria, you're in Joburg. Well, I mean Joburg.
Well, no, I'm in Pretoria.
Oh,
Well,
you're
it
also
used
in
to be
Pretoria.
Joburg, then Centurion. Now he's with me in Pretoria.
Okay.
Yeah.
The other
And
guys are in Joburg.
Johan's in Alberton,
Alberton.
down the road from Sunny's.
Okay.
I have no idea where Warren lives.
He's there. He makes it to
Yeah,
practice, so it
he's
doesn't
around.
matter.
Yeah, they're peppered around Joburg
Yeah,
mostly.
okay,
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Another quick break and then we can wrap it up.
Awesome.
All right, we're back with Hiraeth. guys, once again, I say this every time we come back from a break. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
It's
Thank
been
you for
an
having
absolute
us, man.
pleasure getting to know you guys a little bit better. I know we've met
Yeah.
very briefly, myself
Yes.
and you, at a show, but at shows it's very loud and
Yeah.
you end up shouting at people and they still can't hear you.
Yeah.
So it's been great to get to know you guys. I look forward to one day sharing a stage with you guys.
Yeah.
That'll be
That would
awesome.
be amazing.
So in terms of Cape Town, obviously you said national tour, so you definitely intend coming back here, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Because this was your first performance in Cape
Yeah.
Town.
Yeah, this is our first
Okay.
time here.
Wicked.
And yeah, after seeing the people and the bands, yeah, it's a guarantee we're coming back. Yeah,
but maybe you should make it multiple shows here.
Yeah.
Do like
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
northern suburbs and then one southern suburbs, and then you can even change up the lineups and all that. kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
That'll be
no,
fun, man.
absolutely, no.
So just quickly, in terms of your musical inspirations, you both have just mentioned to me, and I've completely overlooked it, that you both studied music.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
So let's start with Marty. What did you study in music?
So I studied vocals for
Okay.
3 years.
Okay.
Well, vocals and general music. And then I studied music production for 1 year.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So you're the one behind the controls.
Oh,
huh?
no. I just did that as like a little gap here. Gareth is
But don't you think it's so important? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt
oh
you.
no.
Don't you think it's so important to at least have a general idea on how those kind of
Yeah,
things work?
yeah,
you know?
totally.
Yeah.
And here's a little fun fact. It's always funny, but
Fun
I'm
fact
gonna
Friday.
say it. Gareth was my lecturer.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wicked.
yeah, yeah.
This is my production
That's awesome.
lecture.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Cool.
like now when we get on stage, I'm like, Marty, hook up your in-ears. And she's like, but how? I'm like,
Whatever, he's
Have you
lying.
not listened to anything I've
I
taught
was
you?
like, damn it. Nah, that's good. Yeah. I also taught Kyle in Human,
Human
Nebula,
Nebula.
the
Okay.
guitarist. Yeah, yeah.
Sweet. So you're actually a music teacher.
I was.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
not anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So and you obviously you studied as well.
Yes, yeah, I studied. I did 2 years guitar, and then I did 6 years of sound production.
Okay.
Yeah.
6 years. That's a
Yeah.
long course.
Yeah, it was long. It was long.
Okay.
Yeah, went
So-
all the way.
Are you the one manning the controls?
No, but I'll tell you why.
Okay. You get too close to it.
You get too close.
Yeah.
You get too close, and a project is never finished
Yes.
when it's your own.
Yep.
You
I
know.
completely agree with you.
Yeah, yeah. So when it comes to my bands, I would much rather go get recorded and have that objective ear.
Yeah, and you also get that experience of
Yeah.
just, someone punching you in and saying, "Listen, do it again." Do it
Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
do it again."
Yes. Yeah.
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 Who do you guys use?
Ooh.
Clint Watts.
Hey.
From
yeah.
Watt Studios,
Watts
he
Productions.
is
He is-
such a beast.
Yeah.
He is amazing.
Absolutely love him. Shout out to
Yeah.
you, Clint.
He's done the last 2 Ill System songs for us as well.
Awesome.
Oh,
Awesome.
Love his stuff. Love
Yeah,
it.
man.
Yeah.
He's
absolutely
great.
great working with him.
Yeah.
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 It's a bit shitty that like we have to work remotely, obviously, because
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
was
was
gonna
send
ask,
it
like, how does that work?
well, we just record in the studio and
Mhm.
then send the stuff up to him. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, one day, hopefully, one day maybe we can go up there.
Yeah.
And,
Oh, you
take a
have to.
weekend and
You
record the
have
thing
to.
and make it a
Yeah.
full experience.
Yes.
Document it, make a little like travel vlog of it.
absolutely.
I
He
really,
is-
that's one thing that I'm really interested in doing.
Yeah, he is such a machine. I mean,
He's a hard ass.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
does not.
he-
You will not stop until you get the perfect take.
yeah.
Good.
Even if it
Yeah.
takes a million times, he's
Yeah.
like again,
I'm
again.
not even sure if
So he's pretty
he
patient
like
as well.
Yeah, very.
does he even eat or drink?
Clint, do you eat? Do you drink? Are you a
I
vampire?
think he's got like a cable and he just plugs himself in the cupboard and charges
So it's just
overnight.
when he's in the zone, he just doesn't
When he's
stop.
in the zone, you know, like he's been known to like go up until like sunrise. You know, you just go straight through and I've never seen him take a break.
Sure.
Never, ever.
yeah, when
Maybe
we
you should take
recorded
a break just for a
Yeah,
day.
Yeah.
he is amazing.
when we
Yeah.
recorded
amazing.
vocals for Lucid, Gareth and I. No, it was for Strata, the next song coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Gareth and I did vocals until like 2 a.m, and we were tired.
Yeah.
And Clint is just like, "Screw you guys, we're
Yeah,
gonna
let's go."
carry on until
Yeah.
we got this."
Yeah, he's
That's
amazing.
awesome.
He's
That's awesome.
amazing.
It's nice to have that kind of backing as well. like
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
As a
absolutely.
outside member kind of thing.
He really has a fantastic way of like getting the best out of you.
Mhm.
and just a little bit more than that. He pushes you to do things that you didn't know you
Yeah.
could.
Yeah, for sure. I've
Yeah.
actually you're not the first person to like tell me that. I've heard
Yeah.
it a few times on that couch.
Yeah, yeah, he's great.
No,
He's
Yeah.
great.
awesome, man. And your musical inspirations. Obviously, we started with Marty. She was into the indie kind of stuff, and yourself. Obviously,
Um,
you've got a fair amount of metal in you.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean that goes without saying.
Yeah.
You know, Harare,
Yeah.
small ass town. Well, it's not that small,
Yeah.
but influentially speaking, it's very small minded. So I had the metal starter pack, if we want to call it that. Slipknot, Metallica, Korn,
I like the way
You
you
know,
say it's a metal starter.
Deftones,
brilliant. Yeah,
and I loved a lot of grunge back in the day.
Oh, also, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to say like pop punk, like
I love me some pop punk.
I was jamming
I'm a
to
huge
some
fan.
pop punk.
Also, I'm a huge fan of those I Believe in Giants as well.
Oh yeah,
Dude, that's so
yeah,
cool,
yes, yeah.
I need to really organize a trip where there's like some cool shows happening up in Joburg, and I'll come couch surf on Mike's couch. I really want
Yeah,
to.
and he
Really?
lives down the road from us.
Yeah. Okay. It's wicked.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know, because the one thing I was really disappointed about is that we went when we were there for the show. It just felt like it went so quickly, and it felt like it was we were there and then we were gone. Look, given I had to play the next night
Yeah.
in Cape Town with Bill System, but it was still too short.
Yeah.
You
That's
got to
why-
make the trip a little longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we decided to stay a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Because we were so amped to play Summerfest. The waiting was killing us.
Yeah.
We would spend some afternoons just pacing up and down talking about Summerfest. So
That's what I like to hear.
we were so terrified that you're gonna get there. It's gonna be a case of you blink and you're
It's
you're
over.
packing
Yeah,
your stuff
yeah,
up.
Yeah.
So we were like, no, we have to stay. We have to stay.
Yeah.
you
Cool,
know,
man. Well,
definitely.
welcome, and we're
Yeah,
happy to
thank
have
you.
you as
Thank
well,
Yeah,
man.
thank you for having
And
us. yeah.
please, you must really, really keep in touch. Next time you guys come down, we can do another sit down and we can have a catch up and see
Awesome.
what,
Yeah,
how
that'll
things
be
are coming
amazing.
around. And also just help promote your shows next time you're here as well.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah.
But on that note, guys, it's been really cool having you guys around. First things first is follow Hiraeth on all social media.
Yep.
YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, the whole lot.
Yeah.
eh?
Yep.
And then subscribe, check out Undying first, and then check out Lucid. Two wicked songs. I've said wicked like 10,000 times. in
It's
this
that
fucking
wicked.
episode. But anyway, it is. It's like my new favorite word. Anyway, but so check out Hiraeth. Don't forget to subscribe to Papa G's House and
Oh,
click
yeah.
that notification bell. Look forward to a lot more content. I've been a bit slack in the beginning of the year. This is a one-man show, but we will get the content out there. But that is Gareth. That is Marty. This is Hiraeth. This is Papa G's House. Until then, we say peace.
Bye.
I don't wanna go anywhere else. I wanna go to Papa Jesus. Yeah, that's where we're going.